All right, folks. Welcome to our 2025 Florida State football preview show. We're only going to be on for a half an hour tonight because that's the best thing we could do for half an hour. Getting ready for next Saturday, August 30th. The Noles will be at home taking on Alabama Roll Tide, Clemson Tide there at the brand new Joel Campbell Stadium. Everybody down there in Tallahassee is ready to enjoy that. So let's bring in one of our many of our panel of guests tonight. First, we'll bring in Johnny Mack, who is a biggest Noles fan that we know on the side of the East Coast. So he's here this evening. So you can hear his wonderful voice. So Johnny, thank you so much for joining us tonight, big guy. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, guys. Thank you guys for having me in. I'm excited. The football season getting ready to come up, opening with Alabama, is not really something you thought you would, get Alabama to come here is kind of a big deal. So I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great way to show off. I wish the game was at prime time to show off the new facilities with the new renovations they put in. But it looks pretty nice what they've been doing down there to update the stadium, and it looks very nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not one of those people that has any seats in those nicer areas, so I didn't get invited to the walkthrough. So I've been, living it through everybody else's pictures and comments about it. So I'm excited to see it in person next weekend.
That's cool. Adam, go ahead. Do you have anything for Johnny?
Yeah, so Johnny, obviously, we know in the offseason there were a lot of changes made to the team. We brought in a new offensive coordinator, a new defense coordinator, a lot of transfers. So what are your expectations for Florida?
Honestly, man, I'll tell you, I'm just excited to see us get out there and play and, improve upon obviously where we were last year. You got to see the climb back to where we were 3 years ago. We had that run to get up to undefeated for the regular season, and then watch it fall off last year was kind of disappointing. But I'm just looking forward us to be going in the right direction. Last year was nobody saw that coming. So this year, with the new coaches coming in, I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air, get something new in there. I think I don't know much about Tony White, the defensive coordinator, but I talk to a lot of people who keep up with football more than I do, like the ins and outs of it. And they're really excited about him being our defensive coordinator. So I think that's going to be a big shot in the arm for us. And, I'm just excited for the season to get going, and let's get out there on the field and see, we got to be better than last year. That's for sure.
Yeah, we should be better. I was doing some stats there, Johnny. We were like 130th in the nation in rushing yards. That's not Florida State football from last year. Points 15.6. That's 131st in the nation. That's not where Florida State should be. They should be in the top 30 on the points. Points against, they gave up 28 points. The defense did. That tied for 87. So I guess that's a little bit better, but it's not the best. The best what we're looking for. But
yeah. When you see the stats like that, man, it just makes you wonder, like, man, what went wrong from one year to the next where it got that low, where it just, man, we looked lost everywhere last year.
Right. Exactly. So let me bring in Priscilla Proctor, the daughter of the well-known Bill Proctor.
Hey.
So hi, Priscilla.
Right, guys.
Coming on tonight, and say hello to Johnny. His voice is somewhere around here. The voice.
I have a question.
Johnny.
So is my camera not working on my end? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I guess the camera's not working, but we don't mind your voice. It sounds better.
Oh, hang on. I got it. Yeah, I thought I had. Yep, there we go.
Hold on. You got to love the world of technology, folks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought I had this thing fixed from the last time. I'm sitting here looking at the bottom line. It had a red line camera, so I just pushed it and turned it on.
There we go.
All right. Sorry about that.
You're good. All good.
Yeah. So, Priscilla, we were talking about last year. I know we saw today the Iowa State game, and it's funny that the final score was 24-21.
Oh, okay.
That was just like last year. I'm like, but that was like, yeah. I saw that this afternoon. I'm like, are you serious? 24-21. Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, so last year I was just giving Johnny and Adam stats. Last year we only had close to 90 yards rushing average. That's 130th in the nation. That's not where Florida State should be. With all the great running backs we had over the years, that should be up near the top of the standings. points per game was like 15.6. That's 131st in the nation, and that's not where Florida State should be. That should be like 30 or
No.
35. Yeah. So basically, all I on last year
Just
was
want to
like,
forget last year.
yeah, like
Me too.
Danielle was,
Me
like
too.
Danielle said today on her Facebook. She's trying to join us in a few minutes. Like she was like, this is like deja vu all over again this year watching Iowa State and Kansas. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with that from last year. Let's move on.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So you're a season ticket holder, and you had had you get a chance to take a look at the new facilities at Dole Campbell Stadium? Do you like the upgrade, or do you think it's like way too much for that stadium?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked is because this is the first year in like over 40 that I did not get tickets.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm upset. Not because of what the situation. Do you know what I mean? Like we
Mhm.
always had front and second row. We've been very loyal. This is my opinion only for
Okay.
educational purposes. And
All good. All good.
and entertainment. I just, the last couple of years we jumped through hoops to keep a front row seat, and I just, I don't know. And given what the state of the team last year, and I'm still like, I'm all Knoll. I mean, I'm Knoll blooded.
Right.
Y'all know that. Like I will always back my Knolls, but I just kind of felt like there's so much money going into stuff that really we could be putting it into something else. And
Right.
the team was
Mhm.
tremendously bad. And the amount of money they're asking, I just felt like people like myself and others who should have been grandfathered in, who have been so loyal and who
Right.
have family members who have been, part of the
Mhm.
FSU Knoll family for well over, well, y'all know, 50, 60
Right.
years going back to, so,
Yeah.
you know, maybe next year. I did get on the list for the varsity club, but I'm still on the list. So we'll see how
Well,
that goes.
today with the tickets and all that stuff with the new upgrade, what did they do? Did they just completely forget that all these people like your father and yourself been there so many years? They kind of like gave you like, oh, sorry, you can't have the front row anymore. You could have X amount of seats here in God's country, and you're like, what? Like
Yeah. So
you
like
know,
I met with kind of the head honcho of the ticket stuff at first, and then I met with our ticket agent, and they were just not having it. Like I'm like, look, my dad coached there. He was an AD one year. My uncle played. My aunt was in the marching chiefs. We've been loyal ticket holders for over 50 years, season, like all the same seats. And even before that, growing up, we were always at all the games. Um, our family has given quite a bit of money. I'm just upset like a lot of other people are. And I just got to the end of my rope
right.
this year. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I totally understand that.
I think people like
And
myself and
go ahead.
others should have been treated differently. That's my
Oh,
opinion.
I
So
totally agree. I think
my
kind of
family,
yeah. It's kind of to me. I think it's kind of wrong that yes, it does. I really truly don't think the facility needed to be upgraded. Okay, yes, you should
not
have
like
kept like.
that.
Well, yeah, I like that. I look at it, and Johnny, you probably think this too. You see all traditional old ballparks, like Wrigley Field got updated, and you're like, ew, how are you doing in the outfield? Leave
Right.
things alone, and same thing at what other stadium I saw got upgraded, like the new Yankee Stadium. That look okay, it's all, but not like the old Yankee Stadium, but I feel like that ballpark down there stadium should have been left alone and probably
Well,
put more.
that stadium definitely needed some work, but man, what happened to a lot of the longtime season ticket holders was definitely and what is not a good thing. Where I work downtown Tallahassee, I run into a lot of longtime boosters, and same story. They're like, man, it's the first time I haven't had tickets in 40, 50 years for my family because of what the
Like
money and the
me,
money
like
they're
what I was
asking
talking
for.
about, right,
Yeah,
Johnny?
yeah, yes, ma'am. It just
Just
people
have had
sitting down
it.
there
Like,
close to where you are. It's just what they've done to the
mhm.
longtime boosters. Like, sorry, you want these seats? They're going to cost you 10 grand a seat to buy them. Plus, then you got to buy the season tickets.
Oh, wait, don't forget the gift, the one-time gift.
Right. Oh man. When I
That's
heard some of the
thousands of
money
dollars too.
to keep 4 seats where you used to have them was probably over the course of 3 years was going to cost you probably $60,000
Oh
So
my
I had,
god!
so
for
we
a college
started out,
football.
yeah,
Yeah.
years ago, we had 8. We had 4 in the front, 4 in the second row, about 28-yard line. And then we lost some family members. We sold the 4 in the second row. We kept the 4 in the front row up until, so year 4 last, we paid more money and kept the 4 because now they were starting the renovations. Then last year they really dug in and they started upping the money even more. So I moved up to Silver Chief and kept 2, switched to the other side, but 28-yard line, still front row, kept 2. And then to keep going, after everything was done, they would want a one-time gift, the booster and per seat. And I would be higher. No, I just, and I got fed up. So,
Well, let's bring
I
her
mean,
to-
Dad has
yeah.
done
Let's bring in
so
Danielle.
much.
Yeah, she's in the bullpen. Let me bring her in too. So I know she's probably has something.
Hey, Danielle.
Whoa, we're all back
My
together
other girlie
again.
on the show.
We're all back together again.
Y'all didn't think
Yes.
I was gonna be on time, did you?
The crew.
No, Danielle, no, you, no,
No, not me.
I think we all knew better.
Yeah,
Okay.
we knew better. We knew better.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Fine.
We're just talking
I missed
about the
y'all.
we were
I
just
missed
talking about the
y'all.
upgrade to the
Stadium.
Stadium and how they
I apologize. Let me mute it. I'm sorry, the dogs just went crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Probably want season tickets. Probably that's probably why they probably barking. Like, hey, can I have season tickets? Yeah, but no, we were just talking about how they upgraded the stadium and how they kind of ruined people who were there for years. Like Priscilla doesn't have tickets for the first time in like almost close to 50 years almost. Priscilla.
Yep.
Yeah, and all the stuff all the upgrade. What's your take on the stadium? Do you think it's did they really need to upgrade the stadium to try to make it look like a one big show thing in Tallahassee, or should it have just been like left alone?
Oh, that's hard. I think given Tallahassee being, we are a college town, obviously we're the capital of the state of Florida. And I think, but Tallahassee has a very local flavor to it. Like we're very traditional in our sense of like the majority of our fan base wants the Spirit Spear back.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of going into this quasi NFL, looking stadium, so to speak. I think it's kind of taken everybody off, not only losing the seats we lost. I know the justification is the economy of Tallahassee supports.
Right. But I feel
Wi-Fi
like,
going out.
yeah, go ahead.
Or can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
You're good. You're good,
Okay.
Danielle.
I'm making sure. I think, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I would have rather let's put more money into the standalone football facility and all the things we needed to do over the years and then address that later. Do renovations as needed, for safety reasons and so on. I don't know that the fan base was necessarily ready for this. Now, having said that, they did the big reveal. People went down there and loved it. But a lot of the boosters, like what Priscilla is talking about, she went through and stuff, have been upset. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a video of it. Here's the video I found. I was going to put on the show for Monday. So hopefully, okay.
Is that the Champions Club?
I guess so. I just found this on our folks down there, the War Chant people probably had a free access to the stadium. So it looks nice, but do we really need that?
That looks like boosters right there, I think.
Yeah. I feel like the stadium lost its feel. Like you have this stadium was, if you saw footage, and you probably, Johnny and Priscilla, you see footage back in 1985, you didn't really have this stuff in 1985. It was like basically.
No.
No.
And and Danielle probably was doing this too. I was going to games in the 70s as a little girl, and before all the bricks, before all of the things. And I feel like, first of all, we cut out how many 10K plus people, fans?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it won't be as loud. And then we have a platform out there, almost like a bar-like, area, right? Porch area kind of to walk around. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And I just feel like, is that necessary? Like that's where we could have fans in that area. It's very pretty, but it's too NFL-y. I don't know.
It looks like MetLife Stadium, because I've been up there when they first opened with the Jets and Giants, and it looks just like MetLife. How it's not on the field where the Champions Club they have up there. That part was actually on the field, and you could walk right through the gates. and go
Okay,
through
so
any.
that picture you just showed with the two guys standing there, all that area could be seats, and it's
Right.
just like
That's
space.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. So
Yeah, you know, the one thing about college football, man, and the difference between NFL is the family, the togetherness, the smaller feel to it. You know, we don't need an NFL stadium. We need a college football stadium with the environment and the people who become friends over 40 years sitting next to each other.
Right.
Yes.
yeah.
Spirit spear. Bring back
Oh,
the spirit spear.
You know, you're
Right.
always sitting next to the same people, you know, or almost all those
No,
years, you know, you're like, hey, and now everybody's been moved around and
Mhm.
shuffled around and people have dropped off because I was told allegedly, because I can't remember but I'm pretty certain this was the number. If I was to keep the seats I had in the place I had them, the number, it would be around $50,000.
What? What the
Yeah. Where I was at row one, like,
That's like a
Priscilla?
and I'm
Damn.
just all boo, hell no, excuse me, heck no.
You're
I
all
mean,
good, Priscilla.
deuces.
You're all good.
Wow.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's a lot of money.
All right, let's just
That's
start.
a lot of money.
And,
And again, I said, correct me if I'm almost certain that's what they quoted me if I were to be, because we were in the front row. So
right.
the seats are
I don't know what's going on with my internet here.
Mine too. It's been.
I guess the weather is affecting things. So I don't know, but you're the weather lady. How's the weather down there?
My fault too. We're good. It's been raining every day. We have
Okay.
some drier
Yeah.
weather returning next week. Everybody's gonna start bugging me about game day forecast. We have
Oh man,
some
we get
drier-
a free weather forecast.
Yeah, Danielle. What's the weather like down there for next Saturday?
I have
I've
not
heard-
done my 7-day yet. I will tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't done it, but I know we're starting off the week a little bit drier towards the end of the week. Rain chances are starting to return, but they're nothing. I'm not seeing anything magnificent right now. It's standard summer stuff right now. So we'll
Oh,
see.
okay.
Contrary
Okay.
to popular opinion on some posts I saw this week. Where like, do y'all think people stop listening to people on TikTok for your weather forecast? Please.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I mean, it's called, if you want the weather, go talk to Danielle Kelley. I mean, she knows.
Yeah.
That's my shirt. I never met a hurricane I liked.
Hey,
Yeah.
I
There
like
you
it.
like
I
that.
like it, Danielle.
That's a
I
good
like
one.
it, sweetie.
All right, let's talk about the team this year. I know we were just talking, Danielle, about how the last year was so bad. I gave out the stats, and like the running game was down, and the passing game was down, and the points were down. So we, Adam and I, had a chance to go see Mike at the ACC kickoff this past July, and he walked in like he was an Alabama preacher man. He was like all over the podium, and he was like getting loud, and I'm like, all right, dude, seriously, do we need that right now? Yeah, just be mellow, relax. We got one at a time. That's why I look at it. But he had good points that, I guess after last year with the debacle and all the stuff that happened from Ireland all the way down to the Florida game, I think he realized that he got to hold these players accountable for what they need to do. And I guess the coaches that he brought in, Gus Malzahn as offensive coordinator. And I asked him, during the media thing in the room, is it great to have somebody who would like Gus Malzahn as your coach, knowing that you can go be a coach instead of worrying about I got to do the offensive line or I got to do the defense. I got to do all. He could be coach and be like a John Harbaugh here in Baltimore and have other people do their other stuff, and he just be the one guy. Go, okay, you ready? Let's go. So what's your take on Mike? At the ACC kickoff down there, they probably played the whole thing probably on the local media down there.
Yeah, they have. My take on it is it's a good deal what we have going, bringing in Gus Malzahn. It's a different style offense, but and a lot of people are like, well, if FSU does good this year, who's going to get the credit? You're going to have to give Norvell the credit because he's ultimately the coach, number one, and number two, because he did something that we've had problems with dating back to us since when Coach Bowden left, getting out of the way and letting an offensive coordinator take over. Right. Some coaches didn't do that, and I'm not saying any names, but so when that happens, you have to realize, and it's a good fit. I mean, they have a history together. You're not bringing Kendall Briles down here under Taggart where they're going to butt heads the entire time. They have a history together and they like each other. So we're not mismatching pieces, not to mention the OL coach was under Malzahn as well coming in. So, we have continuity this time. They know each other. Because if you look at it on its face, they're talking to me about a no huddle, hurry up offense. Kind of sounds Gulf Coast offense-y. Then they start talking to me, oh, well, White runs the 3-3-5. And I was thinking about when we instituted the 3-4 and I went up to Georgia to the Seminole group and was harping on the 3-4. This is going to be so awesome, y'all. And oh my gosh, it's going to be everything. That was when Levitt was in Tallahassee teaching them how to do the 3-4. And when I leave the Seminole group, James calls me and is like, they didn't write the check to Levitt. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, so Harlan Barnett's going to run the 3-4. That's great. That's great news because I just made a complete ass out of myself up in Georgia. But no, I mean, this is one of these situations where you have continuity among the coaches. You have getting along. They've worked for each other. They know each other, kind of blending in a little bit better. So I'm not scared to revamp and overhaul the whole system like we have in the past. Because like I said, you're not mismatching pieces like you did with like Bryles or Bell and Taggart.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm here in Baltimore, and Willie Taggart is the Ravens running back coach. Can you please tell me that when Taggart was down in Florida State, the running backs were crap, right? So how is he a running back coach at the Ravens being I'm the guy? Because I know when he was there, it was terrible. We had Akers was there for 1 year. And then after that, it was like whoever he grabbed from the stands. I think they called Adam to run some plays, but But I really think I feel like Willie Taggart set us back 3 years, and then Mike's came in. He had the COVID situation. Then he had to fix the problem with all these no offense prima donnas who thinks they make more money than the coaches. And then last year, what they screwed us over in the college football playoff thing. I think that really affected us last year because a lot of players didn't know, can I play hard and are we going to go somewhere? So we, if we win, 13 games, because that really took a psyche on people because it's like, okay, if we win 13 games and we're undefeated and we don't go to the college football playoff, what's the purpose of playing football?
Yeah. Him as a running backs coach, I think, I agree with you. But I think at the same time, and I'm not defending him. He was not meant to be our head coach. I realize that now. I've had to, repent for the error of my ways. I had to be there for the fan base, though, at the same time when James and I were doing the show and give you something to hope for. But we also had tremendous offensive line problems. And I mean, that's just always been the case. It has been the case. For all the things Jimbo Fisher did great for our university. And I know, the national championship and so on and so forth, he had really fallen off on recruiting on the offensive line. And Taggart kind of inherited that. So it's been a plaguing problem with us. That's why I don't want to distract from the fact that we always have to recruit on the offensive line. That has got to be key. Because if you don't have that, nothing else is going to work. Nothing, no matter who. And now we have a good head coach. We have a good offensive coordinator now. I'm just really, I love y'all, but I'm not going to be perky Polly. Johnny may get on to me. I'm not going to be perky Polly going into this. And I hate it because we have 44 new players on this team. And they haven't had a chance to prove themselves yet, but they are wearing last year's season on their backs right now. Right. Because if we lose, the fans are going to be upset overall. That's just the way it is, even though these guys really haven't had a chance to play as a team.
I was thinking about something, if I may interject really quickly before we came on. One of, in my opinion, the most major things is chemistry within your team. Team leader number one, and I think Castellanos can bring that. I think he seems like he broke the rock this past week, right?
Yes.
Did.
I think that he has the ability to do that. We'll see how the chemistry is and grit and determination. How badly do you want it?
Right.
Because we are underdogs in many ways. I mean, not just, where we're ranked or anything else, but also with certain television people I won't mention. We're up against a lot of things sometimes, not just the other team, So it's going to take, I think, a lot of really good team chemistry. I think we have the talent I think we have good talent with the coaches, but if the chemistry isn't there, it's just they're out there playing by themselves. That's just my take on it. So,
Johnny,
Well,
you know a lot about that because baseball has a lot of chemistry. I mean, that team does. They have a lot of chemistry pretty much
Yeah,
every
for sure. And I agree with, and no, I'm not going to be mad at you, Danielle. I agree with you, man, because last year we got bamboozled last year. We were led to believe going into last year that team was going to be good. The line was going to be good. The quarterback, everything was going to be good. The defensive line was supposed to be one of the best in the country. And to have the season we have, then somebody wasn't stepping up. Somebody wasn't being held accountable. And I'm glad they made the changes they did. Unfortunately, people have to lose their jobs sometimes, but that's just the way it goes. And I'm glad we got new coaches. We needed some new life breathed into this program after last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think we needed somebody. We needed a new spark and all that stuff. And and I was looking at the offensive line. There's a kid who's from my neck of the woods, Pettibone, who is a local kid here in Maryland, and he's the grandson of the late Richie Pettibone, the free safety, who went on to be a head coach with some guy named Joe Gibbs. So he knows, he probably knows how to play football, and he
only allowed 1 sack last year.
Right.
That's what we need on the offensive line is someone like that, so we can, because Alabama, from everything I've heard, and y'all have heard this too, Alabama is supposed to have one of the top defenses, not only in the SEC, but in the entire country. So we need people like Luke Pettibone to step up and keep our quarterback from not getting sacked. And, because Alabama is not an FCS team. They're not East Texas A&M. They're not Kent State. This is one of the top teams in the SEC. They have a coach who knows the ropes in Caleb DeBoer, the quarterback in Ty Simpson. So we better come out next Saturday, locked, loaded, ready to go. No screw ups, get our eyes focused on the game and don't make any stupid mistakes. If we can do that, maybe we can shock college football and upset the number 8 ranked team in the country, since we are a 12.5 point underdog to Alabama. So it's like, if we can do that, who knows what the rest, we do have Miami. We have to go to Miami. We have to go to Stanford. We do play Clemson. So it's like, if we can have some key wins against some teams like we're not expected to win against, who knows? We could shock college football and, I don't know, maybe sneak away into a bowl game and maybe sneak ourselves into Charlotte. But that's a long shot.
Well, here's the good news on this, and this is the good news for everybody. If you're gonna shock the world, this is your week. And here's why. Here's why. None of us, I've had so much fun. I didn't do sports shows this summer, so I've gotten to listen to everybody else talk about what we're going to look like. Nobody knows, y'all. Nobody knows.
True, that's why we're
a new DC, and then we have 44 new players and a new quarterback. Nobody knows. Guess who else doesn't know? Alabama. While they're practicing this week, they do not know what they're preparing for. And I even read an article where their coach was talking, because I had posted about it on Facebook. And then, of course, Facebook algorithms, an article pops up where he's saying we have to prepare different ways because we don't really know what this is going to look like. We know what the coaches normally do. But
yeah, that's great, because that makes the opposition don't know what we have.
Right.
And it's secret. And it's like, I think it's great. And you see that around the country. A lot of these schools, a lot of these coaches, like even the guy in Chapel Hill with Bill Belichick, he kept everything under, nothing until Monday night against TCU next week. We don't even know what North Carolina looks like this year. It could be somebody that he probably grabbed out of the stands to be the quarterback. I don't know. Maybe Tom Brady.
They've shut it down like Bill Belichick. The practices have been closed all year, spring and fall. Everything's been closed.
Danielle, it's called.
We don't know.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle. They've shut out the media from Florida State practice down there in Tallahassee as well. So it's like, media doesn't know what's going on. I mean,
I think that's great too.
we can hear, from like sources, but it's like, I mean, yeah, we've seen some catches pop up on social media, and that's really cool, to see that. But it's like we all start out at 0 and 0, so it's like we don't know what to expect next Saturday afternoon.
All you can do is look at the roster and look at the players and look at what Gus runs. We know it's hurry up, no huddle, run pass option, tight end sets. Look at your tight ends, look at your running backs, look at your offensive line first. Then you can look at the defense. No White runs a 3-3-5. So you're going to start with your, you're going to start with your DBs. And what do we have there? We had a whole bunch. And gosh, we got linebackers now too. Hallelujah. And then you work up to the defensive line and look at it. And we can speculate, this may work on this scheme. We don't know how it looks in practice. So we're all learning it for the first time. Alabama doesn't know what they're preparing for. Heck, we don't even know. I don't know what's going to walk on it.
Well, I was looking also, I was doing some research. We have a running back that came from Penn State, Holmes, who last year had rushing rushing touchdowns. And I do have a, I think it was in 2003 he was here playing for us, But, he could be the starting running back. I don't know. We don't know who is, what happened in Penn State that he had to go down to Florida State and transfer. What did James Franklin do to him to make him come down here? I know he's a local kid, from Florida. Maybe he wanted to stay home close to mom and dad, or maybe he got ran out of state college. But I feel like this kid could be one of those like diamonds in the rough we don't even know about, and he could be a 1,000-yard runner and getting us the running game that we had a couple of years ago, and get that offense rolling again. You
have a lot. You have him. You have Croma. If I'm pronouncing that right, he's a true freshman. He's just built different. He chose us over a bunch of SEC schools. He was ranked number 4 nationally. You got Roydell Williams, Alabama transfer. I mean, you have, you've got Sawchuk from Oklahoma. I can go down the list. I mean, you got if Gus does what Gus does and gets the ball to them, and we have, please, baby Jesus, an offensive line to enable them to be able to run. It'll be pretty.
Danielle's right. We need an offensive line really badly, like a good one yesterday. So,
and look at our wide receivers. We got Deuce Robinson, who's a transfer from USC, and everything that I've heard and y'all heard, he's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the entire country. So, I mean, if he can live up to those expectations, I mean,
you got him, and then you got
Squirrel, who came in from Tennessee.
Yeah, and then you got Javon Boggs. He's a true freshman. I would look for him on a 3-wide situation. Most definitely, he'll be dangerous there. So yeah, I mean, you have a lot of weapons at your disposal. Can you get the line to block to get them?
Thank you, Danielle Kelley. Amen to that, girl. Amen.
Please don't let our quarterback get sacked over and over again.
Thank you, Priscilla. Yes.
But you pulled in 4 transfers, not just the one you're mentioning, Chris, Luke. Yeah. You've got Gunnar Hansen that came from Vandy. You've got Micah Peters, who came from Ole Miss. They had the 3rd ranked offense nationally. And then you've got Adrian Medley from UCF, who's already played under Gus and Hand. So, and you'll have all them lined up. You'll have, oh my gosh, his name just escaped me for a second. I can't remember. Oh wait, Richie Leonard, the transfer from UF, that's been injured and hadn't able to play, but it's going to be back. So you got 4 big transfers to add to that offensive line. That's going pretty hard at the offensive line this year. So I'm cautiously optimistic.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up
phrase
real quick here. So let's do a round robin. So Johnny, what is one thing you would like to see next Saturday at the game against Alabama? What is one thing that you've been dying all summer long going, I hope it comes true?
Man, I just what I want to see is, obviously with the renovations and people so disgruntled with that, the people that do show up next week, man, I want them to give us a home field advantage. I want them to forget about everything else except for there to watch Florida State win a football game and make that stadium sound like it can, and get behind that team and let that team know, hey, we're not worried about last year. This is this year. We're going to get things going, and we're going to be behind you the whole way. I just want to hear that crowd. I want to hear Doak Campbell rocking from the start of the game to the finish.
Okay. Let's do Danielle. What was one thing that you're dying all summer long? Because you didn't do sports talk at all during the summer, so you've been sitting and out watching your son come back from Berlin, Germany, and is football coming? I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah.
He's ready too now that he's back. Yeah. What am I looking for? I want them to look competitive. I want them to look hungry, and I want to see leadership. I think that, and two things. This is all I want: leadership and offensive line blocking. And look competitive. I think last year, your offensive line and lack of leadership on both sides of the ball contributed a lot to the entire season. So you fix those two problems this year, you're going to look competitive, and you're going to, just look like you have fight. That's all we're asking.
Okay. Priscilla, what is one thing that you would like to see next Saturday that, would make you happy? And this time next week, we'll do our post game after the game, and hopefully it won't be a therapy session. Hopefully.
Let's hope not. Like Danielle said, leadership. I can't wait to see leadership like Jordan Travis. Again, it won't be the exact same, type, but I want to see somebody go out there, lead the team, Castellanos, I'm assuming, and just bring everybody together. I want to see, remember the 60 minutes? Like, you just got to fight for 60 minutes. I want to see cohesiveness and chemistry. I know that's more than one thing. And like Danielle said, please protect our quarterback, the offensive line, please. But I think for me, the biggest thing would be leadership and good team chemistry.
Yeah. Adam, what is one thing you were dying, all summer long, we've been talking about this since last January, pretty much.
Yep.
When I off the phone, and our travels, what is one thing that you're going, I hope to see on Saturday that makes it look like we're back to being normal?
I want to see the Thomas Castellanos that we saw beat us last year in Tallahassee, and that should have beaten us when he was the quarterback at Boston College. I want to see that quarterback having those feet, get away from pressure, have a very successful season, prove everybody wrong that that transfer into Florida State was no fluke, and he is the quarterback that we desperately needed last year because of everything that happened with DJU. And I want to see, I'll agree with the ladies about leadership. We need that. It's called last year was last year. So let's put that behind us and worry about this year and game 1 against Alabama.
Yeah. Well, what I'm looking for is I'm tired of hearing the crap from last year. My brother Will keeps calling me about what happened last year, buddy? Because he's a Hurricane fan. I want us to be back to being what we were before. And when Miami comes to Tallahassee, we could stick it down there, whatever, Just a family program. Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
Because how Miami is. They can't help themselves.
Yeah.
I know.
Were you on the show last year after the Miami game? And some guy at midnight started trolling me on the program. And I said, seriously, you're not going to start this right now? Come on, dude. Give us a break. Enough.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Their game against Notre Dame isn't even sold out. It's a top 10 matchup or something.
Really? I thought it was. I thought.
Well, Adam, we had the guy from Miami. We had the guy from Miami on Monday coming on our show. We'll ask him about that, Alex. But down there, the stadium is 2 hours away from the campus. No drunk wants to go 2 hours on a bus to a stadium, to watch a game, right, Johnny?
Oh yeah, and they'd have to get on the bus to go back afterwards.
Yeah. So do you want to stay on the dorm to get hammered? Yes. Do you want to get on a bus? No. It's too long. And that's what it is. It's away from. And I asked somebody about that during the summer, why can't they just build a stadium? Just use the old Orange Bowl. It's the Miami baseball stadium. That's the old Orange Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's a dome. Who cares? Close it up during the rainstorm. You can play in the. Miami look weird in the dome anyway. But that's the old grounds. And somebody said to me, he goes, Well, they can't use that because it's not the Orange Bowl. Yes, it is still the Orange Bowl, folks. You got the echoes of Joe Namath going through there. You got the echoes of those games that Miami had. Like us, with missing field goals, and I don't bring that up because I'm tired of looking at it. Sometimes when I see it on TV, I just want to throw my TV out the window when that happens. But I can't do that to my girlfriend's TV anyway. That's hers, and I don't want to be like, "Oh, sorry." I can do it to mine. No, I just want to get us back, and look at it as one game at a time. And if we could beat, Alabama, if it's only 7 or 10 points and we beat them, that's great. That makes us look better, and then maybe we could move on. And we got Texas A&M the following week, so that's a cakewalk. Yeah.
Remember, y'all, we're the cardiac kids. So doesn't
Yeah.
matter
That's
who's on the
true,
team.
Priscilla. That is true, my dear. Yes. that
Yeah,
is
so
true,
I
yes.
just want us to be back to being where we were 2 years ago, because Adam and I had so much fun down in the ACC championship game when we won the championship. It was really cool to see that second time in my lifetime that we won something. And yes, it was different than the last time I was down there when we steamrolled, Georgia Tech until somehow Georgia Tech almost came back and won the game. But I was there for the Duke championship game, and we destroyed Duke in that game, but it was great. But it makes us look great, and now Jimbo's on the media side now.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool to see him on the other side on the microphone now. So maybe he might do some Tallahassee games, and might would he get a standing ovation down there if he gets back in the stadium, or would they still try to run him out of town?
Freddie Stevenson just did a podcast with him. I don't know if you've all had a chance to see it or watch it, but yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, he talks about how leaving FSU was one of the hardest things he ever had to do, and this and that, and blah blah blah. And Freddie played for him. Freddie still loves him. So I don't know. I think we're past that point.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
I agree with Danielle. That's old
Then again, you
news.
have a bunch of drunk people in Doak. I don't know what's going to happen. So I make
Well,
no promises.
Yeah. So next Saturday after the game, we'll be here after the game. Probably be like about 7:30 by the time everything's over. Probably 3:30 kickoff, so it'll be 7:30, 8 o'clock probably. So I'll be at my niece's birthday party. So I told my brother I'm only just staying for 2 hours. That's all I'm doing.
I'm going to be there, so I may have to join y'all by phone.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, I'll be keeping up with the game. Yes, obviously I will be watching the game, and I look forward to your updates on Facebook, Danielle.
Yeah, and Johnny, you're going to be there as well, right? So
Yeah, I'll be at the game.
Yeah, so we'll talk to you guys after the game. If you want to do the same thing by phone, that'll be cool. We'll just
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we'll do this. And Priscilla, we'll be like armchair quarterbacks this year. We'll watch the TV and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll message you.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I'll be on my phone watching and trying to hit my niece's birthday party.
I get really tense and stressed out at certain moments. Then I pause the TV, and then I have to message one of y'all and go, "What's happening? What's happening?" Because I can't bear to look at it.
Oh, I get it. Trust me, it's how you did it with me last
Feels
year. and
better
it's
when
like,
it
I don't
comes
care.
from somebody else. Yeah, than watching it. I get that.
Well, I
I
gotta be,
keep, look, tell me what's happening.
I have to be the good uncle next week, so I have to go watch 2 hours of her birthday party. So I told my brother I got to go in 2 hours because Knowles, Bama, dude. Sorry, dude. You're playing what? Long Island? Yeah, he's a Gator fan. You're playing Long Island. You don't need to watch.
Yeah, you get me for 2 hours and I'm out of here, buddy.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Just enough I can get my Chick-fil-A or whatever they have for the party to get the heck out of here. That's all I care about. Or whatever food they got.
Yeah.
But so we'll join you guys after the game on next Saturday, and then if you guys want to tune in on Monday, Adam and I got a full slate of.
Oh yeah, it's called. Let you three know. We're going to be previewing Texas at Ohio State, Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Clemson, Townsend at Norfolk State, and also TCU at North Carolina. So we got a cavalcade of guests.
We got a lot of people on Monday night at 7, so we got a lot. So hope you guys watch that. And we got TJ from Hold the Slaw, the Seminole podcast. He's going to be joining us. The
Double fries.
double fries and slaw.
Double fries, no slaw. Yeah,
Double fries, no slaw.
Yeah, we met him at the ACC kickoff, and finally
we
met him
did.
in person, so we know what he looks like. He's such a cool dude, and I said,
Yeah.
And I got a kid from Alabama coming on as well, so we'll talk Alabama, Florida State with that in that portion of the show, and it's gonna be fun. I'm trying to get Michael Vick on the program because he's the Norfolk State quarterback, so I've been working on that this weekend, trying to get him on. If the guy from Norfolk State is tuning in, call me.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and Johnny, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I appreciate it on a Saturday. I'm going to go down and get ready for, I'm going to have some dinner. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to leave
Yeah,
you.
thanks for having me on as well.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys. We appreciate
Thank
it.
for coming on. I'm going to leave you guys with Mike talking at the ACC kickoff, and hoping this is what his words were at the kickoff. So here it is. We'll see you all Monday night.
Good night, everyone.
Y'all take care. Good night. Have a good evening.
Is this season that's ahead, right? And when you look through the past few years, we've accomplished some great things. We've experienced the highest of highs, and we've also found ourselves in a valley. We faced some disappointments, right? But every part of it has come back to our response. And this team and this season that's ahead, I've got great expectations, got a lot of confidence because I've watched the work, because I've seen the investment. Right, I'm really proud and grateful for the coaches and the new leaders that we have within our coaching staff. Being able to have two of the best coordinators in college football, a couple of the best football minds that this game has. And Coach Malzahn and Coach White have done a wonderful job pouring into our players. Being able to establish a foundation throughout the course of the spring and be able to build concepts and a plan in place that are built for the great playmakers that we have. And so we're excited for all things that are ahead. It's an exciting time in Tallahassee. We got a great kickoff, here August 30th with Alabama coming into town, and this football team, it is hungry. Right, it is bringing that daily edge in all things that we're doing, and there's a lot of wonderful things around our program. We have a newly renovated Doak Campbell Stadium, which we're so excited to be able to be at full capacity. All right, our football only facility that we'll be moving into here this fall. I do want to take a moment just to thank our administration. Starting with President McCullough, his leadership, his vision, his continued push, to our AD, Michael Alford, to our board of trustees. We have an incredible group. Our chairman of the board, Peter Collins, and the work that they have pushed to continue to elevate our program in this new day of college athletics. I'm just so grateful for the support that we have and the investments that have been made from all of our boosters and everything that we're doing. And there are great days ahead here in Tallahassee and with this Florida State football program, and just excited to get back out on that field here this next week and everything that's in front of us.